Hello, it is 9 p.m. and at this time to English New Edition for tonight's headlines we have. The Minister of Communication concludes his mission is to strengthen the digital transformations in Geneva in Switzerland. Visit to the new Ali Ade Community Development Center by the Minister of Sport and the Minister of Youth and Culture. Spain eliminates Belgium and reaches the semi-finals of the World Cup 2026. Welcome to our newsroom. The participations of the National Assembly delegation in the 51st sessions of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Francophonie in Yaoundé. A delegation from the National Assembly of the Republic of Djibouti took part from July 7 to 12, 2026 in the proceedings of the 51st sessions of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Francophonie held in Yaoundé, the capital of Cameroon. The delegation was headed by Omar Ahmed Waes, the second deputy speaker of the National Assembly, represented the speakers of the National Assembly. It included Mr. Omar Abdallah Ahmed, deputy president of the Djiboutian branch of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Francophonie, and Mr. Abdallah Mohamed Ibrahim, member of the branch. The Djiboutian delegation participated in the official opening ceremony of the sessions held at Yaoundé Conference Centers under the patronage of President Paul Biya, President of the Republic of Cameroon. The ceremony was attended by senior Cameroonian officials, representative of Parliamentary Assembly and the Francophonie, and the delegations from member parliament, marking the official launch of the session's activity. The annual gathering provided a platform bringing together representatives of Francophone parliament to discuss major political, institutional, economic, social issues of common interest. It also offered an opportunity to exchange experience and strengthen parliamentary cooperation among member states. During the sessions, the Djiboutian delegation took part in the plenary meetings as well as in the work of the political committee and the Parliamentary Affairs Committee. Discussion is focused on strengthening democracy, promoting the rule of law, reinforcing parliamentary institutions, preventing crises, and developing cooperation among member parliaments. Through their interventions, members of the delegation reaffirmed the Republic of Djibouti's commitment to the values of the Francophonie and its dedication to supporting dialogue, peace, good governance, and sustainable development. The Minister of Information is in charge of telecommunication, Mohamed Abdul Qadir Musa Helem, concluded his participation in the World Summit of the Information Society in Geneva with a series of high-level meetings aimed at advancing a digital transformation in Djibouti. The visit marked the end of a week of consultations with leading international figures in the field of telecommunication and artificial intelligence. Djibouti's participation in this global event coincided with the Artificial Intelligence for Good Global Summit, which brought together more than 2,500 participants, including around 100 ministers, to discuss digital governance issues and future of artificial intelligence. On the sidelines of the forum, the Minister Mohamed Abdul Qadir Musa Helem held talks with the Secretary General of the International Telecommunication Union, Ms. Doreen Bogdan Martin, focusing on ways to strengthen cooperation and ensure Djibouti's integrations into major international initiatives to digital technologies and artificial intelligence. The minister also held a technical meeting with the director of the ITU Telecommunication Development Bureau, Mr. Kosmaz Zavazava, focusing on the organization's support for Djibouti's digital transformation priorities, particularly the digitalization of public services, reducing the digital divide between urban and rural areas, and strengthening national capacity in the digital economy and artificial intelligence. During the ministerial roundtable held as part of the WISE's 2026, the Minister Mohamed Abdul Qadir Musa Helem presented Djibouti's digital strategy, highlighting the country's infrastructure and the government commitment to making digital technology a driver of economic growth and social inclusion. He also called for a stronger international cooperation to bridge the digital divide. The African dimensions of this strategy was a key focus on the discussions held between Mohammed, between the Minister Helem and the CEO of the Smart Africa, Mr. Latina Kone. The two sides discussed ways to align national projects and particularly the Djibouti Digital Foundation's the East Africa Regional Digital Related Integration Project with the continental initiatives related to regulatory harmonization, data sovereignty, the development of artificial intelligence technologies. The minister held a bilateral meetings with China's Ministers of Industry and Information Technology during with both sides. The Minister of Information, Mohammed Musa Abdul Qadir Helem, delivered an important speech in which he reaffirmed the Djiboutian government's commitment to making digital technology a driver of economic growth and social inclusion. He also called for strengthening international cooperation in order to bridge the digital divide. The Secretary of State for Sports and the Minister of Youth and Cultures visited the new Community Development Center in Ali Adde. As part of their 5 visit to the Ali Sabih region, the Minister of Youth and Culture Fardousa Moussa Ige and the State Secretary for Sports Fatoum Ali Abdallah carried out a working visit to the new Community Development Centers in Ali Adde. The two governments were accompanied by the Prefect of the Ali Sabih region, Abdul Malik Mohamed Benoita, the President of the Regional Council, Sharmaki Hassan Allaleh, as well as the members of Parliament representing the regions, Abdou Sikiye and Mr. Hassan Umar Absiye. Upon the arrival in Ali Adde, the official delegations was welcomed by the acting Deputy Governor Mustafa Hassan Waberi, along with administrative officials, local elders, and the residents of the area. During the visit, the two ministers toured the various facilities of the new Community Development Center. They were briefed on the conditions of the infrastructure and received detailed explanations regarding the operations of this facility, which was established to promote youth and cultural activities and develop the sport practices for the benefit of young people in their regions. The visit reflects the government's commitment to monitoring the implementations of infrastructure projects dedicated to youth, sports, and ensuring their proper functions in order to meet the needs of local communities. It's also part of effort to strengthen public facilities and promote balanced development in inland regions. For his part, in his speech, the President of the Regional Council, Sharmaki Hassan Allaleh, and the members of Parliament from Ali Sabih, Hassan Umar Absiye, welcomed the Minister of Youth and Culture, Fardousa Moussa Ige, and the State Secretary for Sports, Fatoum Ali Abdallah, and the accompanying delegations. For her part, the Minister of Youth and Culture, Fardousa Moussa Ige, reiterated the commitment of the country's highest authorities to continue supporting Djiboutian youth by providing modern and inclusive infrastructure that contributes to developing their abilities and enhancing their participation in social, cultural, and sporting activities. The closing of the training course on the Green Climate Fund to strengthen national capacity in climate financing as part of effort to enhance Djibouti's access to climate finance is a training course dedicated to the Green Climate Fund concluded on Thursday at the Sheraton Hotel in Djibouti. The 3-day training was organized by the Ministry of Economy and Finance in charge of Industry in cooperation with the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development with the technical and financial support from the African Development Bank. The course enabled participants to deepen their knowledge of the Green Climate Fund's mechanisms and the opportunity it provides for financing climate-related projects. The closing ceremony was participant of the who stressed in his speech the importance of this initiative. The training brought together representatives from government administrations, local authorities, the private sector, civil society organizations, as well as technical and financial partners. The session focused on climate financing mechanism, donor requirements, and methodologies for developing projects that comply with technical and economic feasibility standards. The Director General of the National Meteorological Agency and Permanent Representative of the Republic of Djibouti to the World Meteorological Organization is Mohammed Ismail Noor, participate in a meeting on climate-related disasters preparedness organized by the Action Against Hunger in cooperation with the IGAD Climate Predictions and Application Center, ICPAC. The meeting was held on July 8 and 9, 2026 in Nairobi. The meeting brought together several international and regional partners, including the European Union, the Parliamentary Pastoralists Network, the European Commission's humanitarian aid offices, as well as other institutions involved in humanitarian actions and disaster risks. The program is currently being implemented in Djibouti, the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, the Federal Republic of Somalia. It aims to strengthen community capacity to prepare for and respond to climate risks and natural disasters. This strategic initiative is of great importance for Horn of Africa countries, including Djibouti, as it targets 250,000 direct beneficiaries in areas most exposed to extreme weather events and climate-related risks, particularly community affected by conflict and vulnerable displacement. Faced with the climate consequences of climate and humanitarian crisis, field actors also played a vital role in protecting vulnerable populations. An official visit to Djibouti, the president of the International Federations of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, Ms. Kate Forbes, traveled to the Dakhel regions to meet with the local authorities and with volunteers from the Djibouti Red Crescent. Kate Forbes was accompanied by several IFRC officials, including Ms. Liana Gugassian, Special Advisor to the President, Dr. Aisha Mohammed, Head of the IFRS delegations for Ethiopia and Djibouti, Permanent Representatives to the African Union, as well as Mr. Pietro Escartesini, Regional Delegate of the Italian Red Cross for East Africa. The delegation also included Ms. Amina Hussein Farwah, Secretary General of the Djibouti Red Crescent, and Mr. Mahdi Mohamed Jama, Second Vice President of the organization. Upon her arrival in Dakhel, Ms. Kate Forbes was welcomed by the Prefect of the Dakhel region, Hassan Abdi Roble, the President of the Regional Council, Mahad Hussein Ahmed, in the presence of local authorities and regional representatives. The visit highlighted the partnership between local authorities and Djibouti Red Crescent in the areas of emergency preparedness, humanitarian response, and community resilience building. Discussions focusing in particular on the main challenges facing the regions, including the effects of climate change, population displacement, and support for the most vulnerable people. The president of the IFRC then visited the Djibouti Red Crescent regional branch in Dakhel, where she met with the local teams, the committee, and volunteers working in the files. She learned about the various activities carried out by the regional branches, particularly in humanitarian assistance, disaster preparedness, community mobilizations, and support for vulnerable population, including migrants. Ms. Kate Forbes commended the commitment of the Djibouti Red Crescent volunteers, whom she described as essential actors in local humanitarian actions. This visit demonstrated the shared commitment of the IFRC and the Djibouti Red Crescent to strengthen their cooperation. For her part, the president of the International Federations of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, Ms. Kate Forbes, commended the humanitarian commitment of the Djibouti Red Crescent Society and its works.
It has been an amazing day. I am always especially interested in migration, and what struck me today was how the aid was given with such dignity and kindness and humanity. And I think those characteristics reflect the people that I have met in your country. I'm so impressed by the leadership of your national society. You face many challenges, but face them with great enthusiasm and solution-based. If you think that each of you have helped save 27,000 lives, what an amazing gift you've given to all of us. So my commitment to you is to tell your story as I travel around the world and have an opportunity to meet with other donors, because they need to understand the amazing work that you are doing on a daily basis and the magnitude of the work that you face at a country that is not very large in size, but very large in health, very large in in sympathy and dignity and very large in understanding the needs of humanity. So I'm going home thinking of you as a very large country that's making a big impact. And the National Society is one of the leaders. And I am so grateful for the invitation to be here, to have an opportunity to witness what you do every day. And quite frankly, I leave with gratitude and thank you from the bottom of my heart.
The African Union, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, calls for strengthening the resilience of African women in the face of crisis. At the Tunis Forum, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, called for strengthening the resilience of African women and collective responsibility in the face of multiple crises affecting the continent at the opening of the 6th High-Level Forum on Women, Peace and Security held in Tunis. The two-day meetings brings together African leaders, representatives of international societies. The two representatives of international organizations, civil society representatives, activists, and experts to examine the challenges related to promoting women's rights, preventing conflict, and building peace in Africa. In his opening remarks, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf emphasized that armed conflict, population displacement, the effects of climate change, and economic hardship continue to disproportionately impact women and girls, calling on member states to strengthen their commitment to their protections and participations in peace processing. Africa aims to make West a lever for sustainable development. The International Symposium opened in Ebo-Loa, faced with the ever-increasing productions of waste and the resulting environmental challenges. African countries are seeking to transform their approach to waste management by viewing it as resources that can support economic development, job creations, and ecological transitions. It is with this in mind that an international symposium has opened in Ebo-Loa in the southern Cameroon, bringing together public officials, experts, and researchers and representatives of national and international organizations to examine innovative solutions for sustainable waste. For the international scene, FIFA World Cup, Spain eliminates Belgium and reaches the semi-finals. Spain have reached the semi-finals of the 2026 FIFA World Cup after defeating Belgium in their quarter-final clashes played on Friday at Los Angeles Stadium. Fabian Ruiz opened the scoring for Spain before Charles de Ketelaere equalized for Belgium just as the match opened to be heading into the extra times. Mikel Merino scored a late winner to send Spain into the last four. Spain dominated most of the games thanks to their possession-based styles and varied attacking moves. The Palestinian fans in Gaza praised Hussam Hassan's initiatives after the raise of the Palestinian flag. A Palestinian fan in the Gaza Strip praised the initiative of Egypt national team's coach Hussam Hassan after he raised the Palestinian flag, describing the gestures of a symbol of solidarity with the Palestinian people and support for their cause. The fans said the gestures of sparked strong emotions among Palestinians and Arabs, sending a message of solidarity amid the difficult circumstances faced by residents of the Gaza Strip. In appreciation, he created an artwork in honor of Hussam Hassan, highlighted the deep bond of brotherhood and solidarity between the Palestinians and the Egyptian people. The initiative comes as part of numerous individuals and collective actions expressing support for the Palestinian cause through symbolic and cultural gestures. Qatar mediates in Tehran between Iran and U.S. over ceasefire efforts. Qatari negotiators are visiting Tehran to hold talks with the Iranian officials as part of the mediation efforts aimed at reducing tensions between Iran and U.S. and maintaining a fragile ceasefire agreement. According to officials, the diplomatic moves come after an escalation in airstrikes and conflicting statements from Washington and Tehran regarding the future of negotiations between the two countries. U.S. President Donald Trump had announced that Iran had requested the resumption of talks, but the Iranian foreign ministry denied it, stating that Tehran had not made any such request. The Qatari mediations also coincides with the U.S. imposing new sanctions on Iran, further complicating efforts to reach diplomatic understanding between the two sides. Despite this effort, the exchanges of thought statements between Washington and Tehran continues to cast uncertainty over the dialogue process, while regional mediators continue their effort to preserve communication channels and prevent further escalations. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.